Guys. Something's going on. Something's going on, guys.
That's something, unfortunately, a mass shooting at the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl parade that left one person dead, a radio DJ, and 22 others injured, including 11 children. 8 of those victims sustained life-threatening injuries when 3 suspects apparently opened fire near Union Station as soon as the parade and subsequent celebration concluded. Welcome to the Thursday snowy edition of the Dan O'Donnell Show. I'm Dan. You want to join us? I know you do. The AdventNews.com talk and text line is open, 414-799-1130, 1-800-838-9476. Email me directly, DOD@iHeartMedia.com, at Dan O'Donnell Show on X, Facebook.com/Dan O'Donnell Show as well. You can watch the show streaming live on our X account, on our Facebook account, or on our YouTube channel, YouTube.com/Dan O'Donnell Show. Like and subscribe, as the kids say. That, what you heard to open the show, was how it sounded for a local Kansas City reporter who was getting ready to do a live shot. So the camera was on him. You could hear the gunshots go off behind him. He turned around, sees everybody running away, and tries desperately to alert everybody back in the studio, hey, there is something going on around here. So far, 3 suspects are in custody. They are believed to be teenagers. We will have complete coverage of this throughout the show today. Going on right now in a courtroom in Atlanta, a judge is going to decide whether to remove Fani Willis from the Trump prosecution because of an inappropriate relationship with her special prosecutor boyfriend. We'll have coverage of that. Plus, in New York, a judge has now ordered a trial, the very first trial, criminal trial of Donald Trump, very first criminal trial in the history of the United States, is set to begin, we believe, March 25th. Trump had asked that obvious sham of a prosecution be thrown out. To no avail, judge orders a trial date instead. We also have going on at the state capitol a mad push to create a government-sponsored monopoly. And it's not being pushed by Democrats, but rather Republicans in the state assembly who are, as I hear it, planning a voice vote to make the cost of transmission projects here in Wisconsin much more expensive by creating a state-sponsored cartel. We'll discuss that and so much more here on the Dan O'Donnell Show. We kick it off, though, with the second last day of the Cold Hard Cash contest. Fittingly enough, the word this hour is cash. To win $1,000 in cash instantly, you've got until 55 past the hour to go to our website and enter the keyword cash. Your entry picked at random, you win $1,000. It's just that easy. We may have set a new land speed record for Democrats politicizing a shooting. I'm not kidding about this. Manuel Arbaca IV is a Missouri state representative, and he told the Joy Reid show last night that as soon as he was safe, as soon as he ran away from danger at the Kansas City Super Bowl parade, he immediately texted his colleagues and said, hey, we need to use this to push gun control.
As soon as we were clear and safe, I texted our general counsel and told him I need that gun legislation immediately for Monday's meeting. I don't care what stands in our way. And as I was leaving with my colleagues at the state legislature, at the city council, we all agreed it's time for us to act. As Democrats, we must act in a state that is a petri dish for terrible gun laws.
I don't think I've ever heard a Democrat admit that, hey, while the bullets are still flying, fellow Dems, we need to promote gun control. Of course, all day long, before anyone knew what was going on, before anyone knew whether this was your sort of traditional mass shooting event, black trench coat, loner, AR-15. We all know the script, right? Or whether it was the sort of mass shooting that really does happen in the United States every single day. In fact, there have been about 46 days here in the year of our Lord, 2024. There have already been, according to the Gun Violence Archive, 49 mass shootings in America. How many involved single white dudes with trench coats? How many? By my count, one, and it wasn't a white dude. It was a woman who sometimes identifies as a man who might or might not be here in this country illegally from El Salvador, who burst into the Lakewood Church down in Houston and started firing with a Free Palestine sticker on the butt of her gun. No real surprise that that story disappeared. Mass shootings do happen all the time because we have thugs who shoot at each other and innocent people are caught in the crossfire. That's almost certainly what happened here because we still don't have any information about who the suspects are, critically, how old they are, because I have some very strong suspicions about just how old, or rather young, these perps are, and what exactly happened. It didn't stop, though, Andrew McCabe, former disgraced FBI official, from pushing the standard narrative over on CNN as this tragedy was unfolding.
This is a state with very loose gun laws. There's open carry laws. Basically, anyone over 18 basically can carry a weapon anywhere they want to go.
Yeah. Anyone over 18. What a tragedy that we don't have laws that will prevent anyone over 18 from just walking into a public space with their side piece like this is the Old West, like this was a cattle drive and we got a whole bunch of cowboys just walking out there. Anyone over 18 can just sort of walk into any place openly carrying a gun. Isn't that shameful? We need laws to keep people from carrying guns. Here's the problem with that. Witnesses describe the gunman that they saw as being like 16 years old.
We saw one of the shooters. He had a brown jacket on, and he was ready.
He was real young, probably looked like about 16 or 17 years old. They were really young. Yeah. So it didn't look like it was some type of stage or anything like that. It looked like it was just somebody just acting out of control. Yeah.
Oh, so the suspects looked like they were really young. What I could tell you was that the one suspect who was caught on camera getting arrested looked like he or she. I mean, this person was tiny. And I'm not saying this to like make fun of their size. Oh, look at the little munchkin. No, it was just striking. Unless the police officers were 7'5", unless Victor Wembanyama came up to arrest these perps, they looked like they were kids. Every single one of them. So it's already illegal for kids to have guns. So all the people proposing gun control laws, there are already laws on the books that would, we think, keep these people from getting guns, but they still had guns. Remember, the ultimate aim is to disarm the entire populace. The only way that you can guarantee that nobody will ever have a gun, nobody will ever have access to a gun, is quite literally to seize every single gun in America. But here's the thing about gun laws and the states where it is difficult to get a gun, and the states that have attempted as best they can constitutionally to confiscate as many guns as possible, they don't stop mass shootings. As I said, according to the Gun Violence Archive, there have been 49 mass shootings in America already this year. It's February 15th. How many of those 49 took place in the state with the best gun laws in America? California? 7. Now, California, of course, is also the most populous state in the country. It's got 3 of the biggest cities in the entire nation. Los Angeles, San Francisco, San Diego, Sacramento is a big city. So it's just huge population. It's a much bigger population than any other state. What's the second largest state by population? Texas. Texas has, according to the left, terrible gun laws. It also had 4 mass shootings. Texas has the second most mass shootings in 2024 behind California. What this means is that it doesn't matter if you have tough gun laws, if you have loose gun laws, mass shootings will still happen because we don't need more gun laws. We don't need more gun control. We need more thug control. Every single one of these shootings out in California, every single one of them followed a familiar pattern. Thug with a gun opens fire, usually at some other thug, and people are caught in the crossfire. Generally, these happen at parties, at nightclubs, at bars, at Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl victory parades. Here in Wisconsin, we had an event that I've dubbed the gunfight at the Water Street Corral a couple of years ago following a Milwaukee Bucks game, almost the exact same scenario. Now, there wasn't 100, 200,000 people gathered in a tightly confined space, but there were a whole lot of people exiting a Bucks playoff game. Two groups of thugs start shooting at each other. 18 people are shot, most of them innocent, who were just caught in the crossfire. Two big groups of people. Oftentimes there's a gang component to this. Oftentimes the people who start shooting might not be shooting because of a gang dispute or something like that, but they are involved in crime. It is almost impossible to find a mass shooting event with someone who just decides, hey, I'm going to start shooting. Now, there's an average of maybe 3 or 4 of these a year where it actually is the traditional mass shooting or terror attack, or someone goes into a public place and opens fire to try to kill as many people as possible, like what happened on Sunday with the Lakewood shooting. Isn't it interesting, by the way, how quickly that story disappeared? Possible transgender gun woman or man. We think it's a biological female, but she used a male alias every so often. We don't know why, but she used a male alias. You know what my very strong suspicion on that is? She never identified as transgender at all. She's using the social security number of Jeffrey Escalante. Jeffrey Escalante most likely died some time ago, and because she's an illegal immigrant, and this is just my working theory, she came here from El Salvador, and in order to do most anything in the United States, you need a social security number. What a lot of illegal immigrants do is they'll get fake social security numbers that have been previously assigned to people who have died. This is a relatively common thing, and that's my guess. And she was identified. She was, I believe, convicted of fraud a decade ago, and because of that, her social security number probably showed up in some piece of evidence as Jeffrey Escalante, and that's how she had that alias. But on the issue of gun control, how would it work when we know here in Wisconsin, there was an amazing study done by the Milwaukee Police Department? It's rather remarkable that it hasn't been replicated elsewhere. They actually reported on where the guns used in crimes come from and what happens when people leave their vehicles parked on the street. Every so often, there is a wave of car break-ins, and there will be an entire line of cars on, say, Water Street or Brady Street in downtown Milwaukee, and the windows will just be smashed in. Oftentimes, nothing will be taken. And everybody for years just said, oh, well, these are just punks being jerks and trying to, tick off a lot of people. No, these were people looking for guns. We know that in 2 years, according to the Milwaukee Police Department, there were 1,200 guns stolen from cars alone. Wouldn't you think that someone else would want to say, would take a look at the Milwaukee numbers and say, hey, wait a minute. I'll bet you a lot of those guns are the ones used in crimes because they can't be traced back to the criminal who most likely would already be barred from purchasing them. You might remember a decade ago, we had a huge issue with straw purchasing. That's still a major way criminals get guns. But we also have hard evidence from Milwaukee that criminals get guns. And this was a handgun, folks. These were handguns. These were not AK-47s or the scary AR-14 or an assault weapon. These were handguns that the perps used in Kansas City. Almost every crime is committed with a handgun. Almost every shooting in America is committed with a handgun because they're easy to conceal. They're also oftentimes left in glove boxes because people know they can't bring, let's say they go downtown for a Bucks game. You know you can't bring your gun in there, and the criminals know this too, so they just smash the windows, open up the glove box. Oh, hey, there's a gun. Smash the next car's window, open up the glove box. No gun, go on to the next car. You would think we'd want to know, like, hey, where are the guns coming from so we could have a better, more informed debate about gun control. Weirdly enough, there has not been a federal study, not one, on where crime guns come from in, by my count, about 30 years. There's a reason for that, folks. We'll take some of your texts coming up right here on The Dan O'Donnell Show. Dan O'Donnell here for my great friends at Mander Collision and Glass, now with 6 locations to serve you. You hear me talking often about Mander's customer service. Well, here's one of their customers, Haley, who writes, I had a small chip in my windshield. I called and came in right away to see if it could be fixed. Mander had a glass technician in the building that day, and within 20 minutes of arriving, my chip was filled. Very friendly staff and great customer service. My husband and I have used Mander for a few needs with our vehicles, and we will continue to go to them. Thank you so much for sharing your story, Haley. Your loyalty is a reflection of Mander's extreme dedication to customer service. They'll go the extra mile as a matter of policy, and that is why I tell so many people to go to Mander. Now with 6 locations to serve you, Mander truly is your best decision after a collision or for windshield repair.
Want to make your yard the envy of the neighborhood? Tune in to Brett Octenhagen's Seasonal Services Designer Yard Show to learn landscaping secrets. Visit seasonalservices.com and listen on News Talk 1130 WISN, Saturdays at 1 p.m.
If you're someone who is experiencing shoulder, hip, or knee pain and a total joint replacement may be in your future, think Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Their physicians are committed to providing the highest quality joint care and specialize in same-day total joint replacements at their own ambulatory surgery center in Pewaukee. Find them at orthowisconsin.com.
Tune in every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. as Ellen Becker Investment Group highlights local people and organizations who are using their time and their talents to give back to make a difference in our community. Milwaukee's philanthropic community. Visit ellenbecker.com to learn more.
Pure Talk believes in American values and that free should mean exactly that, free. Well, switch to Pure Talk today and you'll get a free Samsung 5G smartphone. Now, qualifying plans start at just $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, 15 gigs of data, and, of course, mobile hotspot. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword Pure Talk, claim your eligibility for your free brand new Samsung 5G smartphone. Start saving on wireless today and switch to my cell phone company, Pure Talk.
If you have a bank account, pay attention. The U.S. banking system is once again under extreme stress, but there is an easy way to protect yourself. Gold. Contact Noble Gold Investments today and safeguard your family's financial future. As a thank you for opening a qualified account, they'll give you a free quarter-ounce gold standard coin. Just use the promo code GOLD. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Are you tired of exposing your retirement to stock market risk? How'd you like the potential to participate in credited interest from market index returns and limit the downside? Join Joe Brown for the Safe Money and Income Radio Show on Sunday at 7:30 a.m. and 8 p.m.
Politicized immediately by the left. By the way, you know that this is going to be, look, the 2 suspects who are seen in handcuffs are rather obviously black teenagers. You know this is going to be a narrative about gun control when it's not a straight white male ranting about something Tucker Carlson said 5 years ago and wearing a red MAGA hat. That's how you can tell. We talk about the issues that are going on with the gunman when it's a straight white male. If we can't politicize the shooting in any way, and in fact, if it would make people question, like, hey, how come a disproportionate number of people who identify as transgender or non-binary actually are committing the traditional style of mass shooting where a lone crazy person walks into a school or something and shoots it up? This is why, because we have, oh my goodness, possibly an illegal immigrant, possibly woman identifying as a man occasionally, who walks into a church in what appears to be a pro-Palestinian terror attack. Ooh, don't want to draw attention to any of those things: illegal immigration, transgender violence, or the fact that a whole lot of American Palestinian supporters are perfectly fine with terrorism as a political tool. No, 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 no. Don't want to go down any of those rabbit holes, so the story is just completely dropped. Now that it's rather obvious that this was, in Kansas City, the sort of mass shooting that happens all too often in this country, where people, yes, disproportionately, and I know nobody else wants to say it, so I will, disproportionately black teenagers or early 20-somethings engaged in public shootouts. This has become a massive, massive problem. We're just going to ignore that factor altogether and focus on gun control that, of course, wouldn't work at all. Want to highlight one hero of yesterday's mass shooting. By the way, one person dead, a female radio DJ from a local station. Obviously, they're covering the parade. And 21 people injured. I believe 11 of them, 10 or 11, are identified as children, brought to local children's hospitals. 8 of the 21 injured suffered life-threatening injuries. I have not seen the latest update on conditions, but I do want to highlight Paul Contreras. He went on CNN last night and described, he was one of the ones that you can see in video of the incident tackling one of the gunmen and holding him there on the ground until police arrived. Listen to his account.
I just heard somebody yelling to stop this guy, tackle him, and he was coming in the opposite direction. So I just, you don't think about it. It's just a reaction. He got close to me. I got the right angle on him, and I hit him from behind. And when I hit him from behind, I either jarred the gun out of his hand or out of his sleeve, because as I'm taking him down to the ground, I see the gun on the ground. So I take him down, and I'm putting all my body weight on him. And then another Good Samaritan comes over and is helping me, because I kind of got him high, and the other guy gets him around his waist, and we're just putting our weight on him, and he's just fighting to get up, but we're fighting to keep him down. And another Samaritan comes over and puts his weight on us, and we're waiting for the cops to show up. They finally, well, they get there, and the second cop gets there, the third cop gets there, then they pretty much take over, and I'm standing there for about a minute or two. You know, me and the cops didn't even have like one or two words, you know. Wow. Once they had him and got him cuffed, I sat there for 2 minutes with all my 3 daughters, and then we walked away. We headed toward our car.
It's an amazing account. Paul Contreras there on CNN last night. It should be noted, I think, that while we were praising the heroism of all of these 600 members of law enforcement that rushed towards the danger and that put themselves in harm's way, and Mayor Quinton Lucas, Democrat, mayor of Kansas City, said, yes, we are so, so proud of our law enforcement. He actually sued the state of Missouri to try to block a law requiring higher police spending. As recently as 2022, August of 2022, Mayor Lucas was suing because he didn't want more law enforcement officers on the streets. Guess what? 2023, the deadliest year on record in Kansas City's history. This sort of stuff is Not difficult to figure out, folks. Less police officers on the street in Democrat-controlled cities. Less serious charges being filed against people who commit serious crimes by Democrat district attorneys. Liberal Democrat judges don't sentence anyone to prison. They let them off the hook with parole, with probation, maybe a token 2-day jail sentence. Committing serious crimes, they're getting off with a little more than a slap on the wrist. This is why you have this sort of out-of-control crime. This isn't an issue about guns. This is an issue about criminals, and criminals who are increasingly younger, committing increasingly more heinous acts. We're going to switch gears and talk about the right of first refusal. What's that? Find out next.
The next generation is here. You're listening to The Dan O'Donnell Show.
Hey, Dan O'Donnell here for my friends at the Lynch Automotive family of dealerships. It's Truck Month once again at Lynch, and they have all the American trucks you love. Chevys, GMCs, Fords, Rams. Take advantage of these low financing offers this month. Purchase a new Chevy Silverado or GMC Sierra and receive 2.9% financing for up to 72 months, or pay just 1.9% financing for up to 72 months on select new Ford F-150s in stock, or receive a $4,500 rebate when you buy a new Ram truck. Also included in every new vehicle purchase at the Lynch family of dealerships, the Lynch Protected program, which covers your paint, windshield, and tires for 1 year after purchase at absolutely no cost to you. Low financing and peace of mind when you choose Lynch. Head over to shoplynch.com today. That's shoplynch.com.
When it comes to remodeling, everyone has advice about who you should hire. But who can you trust? Your boss? Neighbors? Random online reviews? No. When it comes to remodeling, you can trust NARI. All NARI members are experienced, proven, qualified, and verified by local people who know the industry and have your back. Join us for the NARI Spring Home Improvement Show, February 16th through 18th at State Fair Park. Get discount tickets at NARIMilwaukee.org.
Dan O'Donnell here alongside Dave Spano, President and CEO of Annex. It's This Week with Annex Wealth Management. And this week, Dave, a lot of investors are wondering, where do we go from here? Specifically, what does the Federal Reserve do? And are we going to get a soft landing or any kind of landing? Because in order to land, you've got to get down from record highs.
Yeah, that's right. So exactly 5,000 on the S&P 500, and there certainly seems to be this feeling of FOMO starting to kick in, or fear of missing out. But again, it's exactly right, Dan. We're talking about the Federal Reserve, and we're talking about earnings. The Federal Reserve, of course, it looks like they're going to wait to cut rates. We talked about first they're going to raise rates, then they're going to pause, and then they're going to pivot. But that pivot may not be next month, as a lot of investors have expected. So interest rates may be higher because of wage inflation. When we saw the CPI report, we saw that wages continue to grow because of so many open jobs. And the second piece, of course, is earnings have come out and they have been better than expected. But listen to this. Of the Magnificent Seven, if they were their own index, it would constitute 29% of the total market capitalization. So there's no question that the Magnificent Seven continues to go. Their earnings are doing well on comparison. The other 493 stocks, only 1.9% earnings growth. So we need to take a look at that. You have to go through your portfolio, know what you own, why you own it, and how much you're paying for it. Get a customized financial plan aligned with your customized portfolio.
I'm telling you, you absolutely don't want to miss out on this. I have had one of Annex's professionals look over my own portfolio, and I got some great advice. For Dave Spano, the president and CEO of Annex, I'm Dan O'Donnell. Thanks so much for listening to this week's edition of This Week with Annex Wealth Management.
What's the secret to enhancing your natural beauty? The secret starts with a visit to a Younger You Medical Spa. The wonders of rejuvenation at a Younger You Medical Spa. Preserve your youthful appearance with a Younger You Medical Spa's advanced personalized aesthetic care. Using cutting-edge, non-surgical techniques, their team of specialists will invigorate your skin's healthy glow. A Younger You Med Spa is proud to offer an extensive range of treatments, including cool sculpting, fillers, Botox, hydrofacials, laser hair removal, and much more. By combining expertise, exceptional service, and a luxurious environment, a Younger You Medical Spa strives to be the best. At a Younger You Med Spa, you won't just achieve healthier looking skin, you'll rediscover your natural beauty and confidence too. Look younger and more for 2024. See their range of services and schedule your complimentary consultation and facial scan today at ayoungeryou.com. That's ayoungeryou.com. A Younger You Medical Spa. Enrich your life and say hello to the new Younger You. Book your consultation today for a free facial scan.
The Fed is setting a digital dollar control trap. The new FedNow system might sound modern and convenient, but the truth is, it's all about surveillance and control. Don't be fooled. Secure your assets right now with something Washington cannot manipulate. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon, former advisor to Donald Trump. And in these times of uncertainty, I believe the best way to defend your savings is to use tangible assets, which is why I recommend a physical gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. Because gold has a 5,000-year track record as the ultimate guardian of wealth. To find out more, get your free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold Group by texting the word SECURE to 989898. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust, so text SECURE to the number 989898. That's SECURE to 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs. There's no obligation or purchase required.
Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, business owners, it's Joe Breyer with Lake Country Advisors, your local, experienced, and trusted M&A advisors here in Wisconsin. We offer confidential, free exit strategy consultations to discuss the sale of your business. Visit us today at lakecountryadvisors.com.
Let Tri-County Contracting take care of the outside of your home so you don't have to. Worry-free roofing, siding, and windows from Tri-County Contracting. Call us at 262-679-6100 or visit us online at TriCountyContractingWI.com.
Conservative thought, not just talk.
You're listening to The Dan O'Donnell Show.
Happy birthday to loyal listener James, whose birthday is on Sunday. He asked for a special birthday shout out, said it would make his birthday for the second year in a row, calls himself the #1 fan of the Dan O'Donnell Show. And I will, of course, always oblige a fan. Happy birthday, James. Right now, the Assembly leadership here in Wisconsin is holding a news conference in which they're discussing, of course, the upcoming floor session, which starts in about 20 minutes. One of the items on the agenda is called AB 470. It is 9th up on the docket. I am told legislative leaders are attempting to call a voice vote on AB 470. A voice vote allows a measure to pass without any politician ever having to have a record of how they voted. People love voice votes. Usually voice votes are something that's not controversial. A Black History Month designation. Do we want to give a President's Day declaration? All in favor? Yeah, you name a post office, you name a highway after somebody. It's the easy stuff, right? AB 470 would actually allow Wisconsin, it would create something known as a right of first refusal law. Right of first refusal in the context of electrical transmission projects is something that the federal government did away with about a decade and change ago. And what it does is allow the electric companies that service an area or a state. In Wisconsin's case, there are 3. The American Transmission Company, ATC, Xcel Energy, and Dairyland Power Cooperative. it would force a state government to give the contract. They would have to have the contract presented to them first, and they would have the right of first refusal. If they don't want the contract, only then would an out-of-state electrical company be allowed to even bid on it. Now, what happens when you create a cartel or a monopolistic cartel backed by the power of state law? Prices go up. It is an inevitability. Whenever there is no competition in a market, and this is where liberals just completely misstate the conservative position on monopolistic practices. Conservatives believe in free markets. Conservatives do not believe in a sort of oligarchy where only certain favored companies are allowed to operate by government. And that's essentially what this creates. It creates a form of oligarchy. It creates something that is anti-free market in nature. And it creates higher prices for those of us who have to pay for electrical transmission projects. Let's say you need electrical work done at your home. Obviously, you would choose Current Electric because they are a proud sponsor of the Dan O'Donnell Show, and I am very proud to endorse them. Their team actually came out and did a little work for me about 2 weeks ago. Man, are they perfect. Just really, really good people. Nice. They did checks of pretty much every outlet and everything I did. This isn't a commercial for Current Electric. But, okay, I love Current Electric. Would I support Current Electric being the only electric company that would be allowed under state law to service my house because I'm in the protected territory of Current Electric? I would not. I'm sure Current would love that, right? What business wouldn't, right? What business wouldn't? You have your turf, you have an area that you are protected, and you have the right of first refusal to say, nah, I don't feel like having a competition for this bid for Dan's electrical work, or even worse, for state transmission projects, which I don't think I need to tell you are a whole lot more expensive than what I would be paying on my house electrical work. We're talking about hundreds of millions, billions of dollars in money that is just going to be awarded to 3 companies solely because they happen to be here in Wisconsin. And the best argument that I've heard against this, or in favor of this right of first refusal law, from some alleged conservatives who should know better is that, well, Dan, it would create a bureaucratic mess if we were to allow other companies to come. Oh, really? Really? You would have to go there. And admittedly, I don't want to get into all the machinations of how bidding for electrical transmission projects works. It is rather complicated. But the idea, well, it's going to be a bureaucratic morass. We can just give the contract right away to our friends who lobbied very hard for this. In fact, I am told that right of first refusal, which is set for a voice vote, no Republican wants to have their name attached for creating a monopoly. So they want it to go before a voice vote in the state assembly. Real profiles in courage here from assembly leadership. If Assembly Speaker Vos actually does have a spine, he would say, no, you want this, just like with any other thing, you attach your name to it. You say, yes, I would like Wisconsinites to pay something in the neighborhood of 20 to 30% more for transmission projects because we don't want any competition in the market. This is what this is about. It's about fundamentally anti-competitive, monopolistic practices given the backing of state law. This is anti-conservative. It's anti-competition. Honestly, it's anti-American. We enacted antitrust laws in this country 100 years ago plus, 100 plus years ago, is at the progressive era of the early 1900s, because we understood that monopolies ultimately end up with controlling the market. And this is why I have been so wary of this brand new sports app, which of course everybody else, it seems, oh my gosh, we can go one place for all our sports, ESPN and Fox, and is it NBC Universal? Who's the third partner in that? Warner's? Maybe, yeah, it's Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers, which owns TBS, TNT, Fox Sports, obviously. Fox brings Fox Sports, and ABC, Disney, brings the ESPN network. So you basically can have one app with three companies forming a cartel to bring you sports. They are going to dominate the market. And they say, well, this is going to be an app that, it's going to be good. It's going to be, the price is going to be affordable. But, it's still going to be expensive. It's going to be $30 a month, probably for the first year. And then the price might have to go up to $50 because those rights fees are so expensive. How quick before this new sports app, which doesn't have any competition, if you can get an app that has NFL football, that has Major League Baseball, that has NBA basketball, that has UFC, that has golf, that has everything. And then there's another app that has discus and the WNBA. Which app are you going to spend your money on, right? This is an app that's designed to, and it's designed not to put other other channels out of business. It's aimed directly at the cable companies. Why are people not cutting their cords? Number one reason given by far is because of live sports. Why do you think they have Giannis Antetokounmpo and various other sports personalities? Very, very funny ads for Hulu. Hulu, by the way, also has live. They would be part of this too because they're under the Disney umbrella. Yeah, the Hulu has live sports, and then they get a big sack full of money. I love those commercials. Their aim is to put the cable companies out of business, that nobody's going to subscribe to cable. They're all going to go directly to this app. Once the cable companies are out of business, guess what happens to the price for that app? Goes sky high. Why are we allowing this same sort of behavior in Wisconsin? And if what I'm hearing ends up happening, and I strongly, and I mean strongly advise Republicans to ditch plans for a voice vote. If you're going to vote on it, fine. Straight up or down, I want to know how all 60-plus Republicans feel about this. I think this would actually probably have to pass with Democrat support. And while Democrats, they profess to hate monopolies and big business, they are very comfortable with the idea of government-sponsored monopolies and government-favored industries and government-favored companies, oligarchies, in other words. It's ironic. I'm seeing everyone in the world. Putin apparently came out and said, yes, I was surprised. American Carlson gave me easy questions. And they're saying, look, Tucker is Putin's stooge. Tucker came out and said, the subways in Moscow are much cleaner than ours. They hate Putin, right? They hate Russia, right? What sort of economic system does Russia have? An oligarchy. Don't bring a Russian-style form of electrical transmission project work to Wisconsin, please. Dan O'Donnell here for my amazing friends at Built-Right Furniture, Leather, and Mattresses. Built-Right's President's Day sale is on now, but the secret is they're celebrating Randy Kay's birthday as well with great savings on affordable, better quality furniture and mattresses. Shop where the O'Donnell family shops now more than ever. It's the time to support Built-Right, a locally and family-owned business for 4 generations and 96 years strong. Built-Right's 45,000 square foot showroom has thousands of items in stock, plus 500 200 mattresses. Special and custom orders are faster in 2024. You'll get the lowest prices on popular brands like Smith Brothers, Elran, Temple, Heirloom, Restonic, Therapeutic, and many more. Built Right always saves you money. Voted best place to shop and open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday, they're closed to be with family. Make sure to wish Randy K, fourth generation, a very happy birthday and tell them Dan sent you to Built Right at 54th and Layton in Greenfield.
Picture taking your first steps into your brand new home. What do you see? Whether it's cooking meals in your 5-star kitchen or practicing downward dog in your sunroom, Belinsky Homes can handle it all. At Belinsky Homes, we know each lifestyle calls for unique home essentials. That's why we've been designing distinct and deliberate floor plans for over 60 years. Considering every last inch of space, we build new homes ready to adapt to your life's needs. Visit Belinsky.com today to find your right fit. Belinsky Homes, built for life.
I know, some houses are strange, weird, need significant repairs, perhaps just really tough to sell. I get it, you feel you need to pay 6% to sell it, and maybe you truly do. This is Bob Tarantino from Redefined Realty. If you have a property that is kind of normal, generally really nice, maybe even just plain stunning, the Redefined Realty 3.99% commission plan will get the job done just fine. Our marketing is amazingly similar to the 6% brokers. We're even in the same local MLS. Visit redefinedrealty.com for details and a free market analysis.
It was a doozy, all right. Apparently, things got a little out of hand, as evidenced by the job description.
Repair heel marks on conference table.
You get the picture. Office party, a few too many drinks, and a gal who felt compelled to use the top of the conference table as a dance floor. And as you expected, we showed up on site and made that tabletop as good as new. By golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. Serving everywhere. Quality counts. MULLALY finishing.com. Well, if you haven't heard me bragging by now, we're darn good. Actually, my dad has no qualms about saying we're the best. And if you're skeptical, I understand. But all you have to do is go to MullallyFinishing.com to learn why we're great at what we do and see lots of before and after photos that show off our impressive work. So if you're looking for a name you can trust, by golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. Serving everywhere. Quality counts. MULLALY finishing.com.
He lives in Chicago, and about 8 years ago, we sent him a large Marvin window order for his second home in Pentwater, Michigan. But just after winter, a terrible thing happened. The house burned down. So now the guy's building a brand new home, and I'm proud to say that he came back to us for more Marvin windows. And he said it's because we gave him great service. And now together we're working with Marvin Windows and customizing the entire order to meet his needs for what is going to end up being just an unbelievably beautiful home. And now he has us doing all the doors, too. And it just goes to show that great service and an obviously impressive Marvin Windows product line not only earns business, but repeat business. And that's what's kept us going for over 60 years. This is David Wilhelm. Marvin Windows are built around you. And when it comes to any of your window and door needs, your clear choice for more is Lisbon Storm Screen and Door.
Your clear choice for more, Lisbon Storm Screen and Door.
Find us at 51st and Lisbon.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-522-5700. 800-522-5700.
Are you tired of exposing your retirement to stock market risk? How would you like the potential to participate in credited interest from market index returns and limit the downside? Join Joe Brown for the Safe Money and Income Radio Show on Sunday at 7:30 a.m. and 8 p.m.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations like the Beatles Now and Then.
Come together, you say goodbye. It's been a hard day's night.
Just search Beatles and listen now on your free iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
YouTube comment from Adam. LOL at the head bopping with the outro music. That was funny. my head. I kind of subconsciously, I'm like, I'm like a rapper about to dive into a verse, about to attack this beat with some conservative thought, not just talk. It is time to name the unhinged liberal of the day.
Trump is Hitler.
We are in pre-Nazi Germany.
All white people are racist.
Trump is dangerous because he's evil.
America is over.
Today's unhinged liberals of the day are the two climate nuts who walked into the rotunda of the National Archives and just sort of threw some sort of orange powder all over the display of the United States Constitution. Rather remarkably, they weren't immediately taken down by security guards who are seen just sort of standing there. Now, I'm not going to comment on the fact that both guards appeared to be wearing masks, but that might have something to do with the fact that neither security guard did anything. In fact, one of these psychopaths even got up and made a speech after he doused the Constitution's display case in powder.
We are determined to foment the rebellion. We will not be held accountable to laws in which we have no voice or representation. This country is founded on the conditions that all men are created equally and endowed with the inalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We're calling for all people to have all these rights, not just wealthy white men. We all deserve clean air, water, food, and a livable climate.
Got it. Did you hear what he said first? I'm going to play it again.
We are determined to foment a rebellion.
We are determined to foment a rebellion. So let me get this straight. This guy breaks into a rotunda of a federal government building. He badly damages the case containing America's most important document, with apologies to the Declaration of Independence, the document that sets forth our very form of government. Capitol police officers are just sort of standing there. Security guards are just sort of standing there, letting them do it. And they're talking about fomenting a rebellion. This remind you of anything, by the way? Anything at all? Let's see. They walk in to a rotunda, like the one we have, say, in the U.S. Capitol. They stand around. Now, they actually attacked America's founding document, at least our government's founding document, and the security guards just sort of let them do it. Now, unlike I'm obviously referring to the January 6th riot, unlike that, they were actually saying, we are fomenting a rebellion against this document, against this government. Why are these guys not currently sitting in a D.C. gulag? And in fact, can we get any information about whether they've already been released? Eventually, they were led away. Were they arrested? Were they booked? Have they been criminally charged with anything? None of these questions appear to have been answered quite yet to my satisfaction, but suffice it to say that these two climate cult protesters are your unhinged liberals of the day. This is just kind of what they do now. I thought this was solely a European thing. It's now spread to the States. See, we're always a couple of years behind French fashion, and now the fashion is to just throw soup at paintings or the Constitution, I guess. What, American art isn't good enough to attack? We've got to go. I mean, the most beautiful piece of art in America just might be the Constitution for the form of government that it set up. But this is just what these people do now. You know why? Do you know why they do it? Because they get away with it. Because they're allowed to do it. This is the entirety of America's and the world's problem with crime summed up in one little crazy liberal stunt. When we come back, we will talk about President Biden, President Trump, the current hearing going on in Georgia, and much, much more.
News that's factual, fair, and balanced. This is continuing coverage on News Talk 1130 WISN, Milwaukee.
Good morning, I'm Ted Allen. Authorities in Brookfield are investigating a fatal crash that happened there yesterday. Brookfield police say a vehicle was traveling westbound on Capitol Drive. It jumped a median and crashed into 3 eastbound vehicles on Capitol. A 40-year-old woman driving the vehicle that crossed the median died at the scene despite life-saving measures. 2 of the 3 eastbound drivers are taken to the hospital. They're expected to be okay. The Waukesha County Medical Examiner's Office and the Wisconsin State Patrol are joining Brookfield police in investigating the crash. At the Capitol in Madison, a paid family leave bill was introduced by Democrats, including Milwaukee State Senator LaTanya Johnson.
Balancing work and family life has become increasingly challenging in Wisconsin. Paid family leave becomes more and more necessary in order to have a life, not of luxury, but a life with some resemblance of quality.
The measure, which would mandate 14 weeks combined between medical and family leave and 12 weeks of leave for just one of those 2, is unlikely to receive a public hearing with the current legislative session winding down. 3 people are in custody after shots were fired at the end of the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl victory rally in downtown Kansas City yesterday. 1 person was killed, 21 others were shot, including 11 children between the ages of 6 and 15. Police are investigating the circumstances and the motive behind the shooting. Checking the WISN Sports Scoreboard, the Bucks return to action tonight facing the Grizzlies in Memphis. From the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin News Center, I'm Ted Allen on Wisconsin's most listened to radio station, News Talk 1130 WISN.
You gotta see the M-Series recliners at Penny Mustard.
What does the M stand for in M-Series?
Everybody's raving about the M-Series.
Let's see. Magical. Marvelous.
The M-Series is the opposite of the traditional recliner. This is the future.
Modernistic.
M-Series recliners from Penny Mustard fit all body types perfectly.
Minuscule? Massive.
Made in the USA with ultra-high resiliency foam, hundreds of fabric and leather options, and it comes with a multitude of positions.
Multifaceted.
The M-Series provides full head, neck, and calf support.
It's so comfortable, you'll say.
Mamma mia.
Okay, that's enough with the M words.
Malarkey.
Come on, knock it off.
Moody.
The M-Series starts at just $70 a month with only 1 penny down and no interest till February of 2027 through February 25th at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Magnificent versions of what people want.
Penny Mustard Furnishing.
Here's the latest forecast from the Fox 6 weather experts.
It's a snowy and sloppy Thursday with the melting snow. Roads will continue to be wet this afternoon. Highs likely in the mid-30s. Getting windy later on today and tonight and dropping to 24 overnight. I'm Fox 6 Chief Meteorologist Rob Haswell.
This report is sponsored by Jackson Hewitt. It matters who does your taxes. Why are people saying "Hew yeah" to Jackson Hewitt? When you switch to Jackson Hewitt, they will beat what you paid last year on tax prep, even if you filed online. Proof of prior year payment required when filing. New clients only at participating locations through April 7th. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
Are you ready to feel more confident about retirement? Hi, I'm Jeff Kowal of Kowal Investment Group, the retirement specialist. Our team of fiduciary advisors can help. Give us a call today at 262-522-4040 and listen Saturday at 10 a.m. to The Retirement Clinic.
I'm Brett Ochtenhagen, owner of Brett Ochtenhagen Seasonal Services. Most people know us as a trusted landscape contractor, but did you know that we've been crafting decorative concrete and masonry features for almost 30 years? All concrete is not the same. Do you know what to ask for when planning a landscape project that includes concrete? For example, there are many types of concrete mixes available, and if you don't request a premium mix, you'll likely get a bargain mix, and a driveway or patio made with a bargain mix is not a bargain at all. We use only premium concrete mixes from trusted producers, and our decorative concrete and masonry features are crafted by our own artisans, not subcontractors. There's so much to consider when preparing for your landscaping project. Brett Ochtenhagen Seasonal Services has been serving southeastern Wisconsin since 1994. We are an established, trusted landscape contractor. Please call 262-392-3444 or look for us online at seasonalservices.com.
Call Callan, we put the wow in home remodeling.
It's a new year, get a new view with Callan, extended through February 15th. We are offering buy one, get one 40% off Infinity windows and patio doors, and that includes installation. Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows and patio doors incorporate the details of traditional wood, but will not rot, are 8 times stronger than vinyl, and combine easy cleaning features and effortless operation. Replacing your windows and patio doors should give you a new view, not a headache. Callan experts will guide you through their worry-free process, provide a professional experience, and a lifetime workmanship guarantee. Visit callcallan.com or call Callan today at 414-529-5509 for a free estimate on this new year, new view offer. Financing is available.
Call Callan. Call Callan. We put the wow in home remodeling.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-522-5700. 800-522-5700.
Be sure to listen to the Annex Wealth Management Investment Show Saturday mornings at 11 and Sunday afternoons at 1 on News Talk 1130 WISN. Annex provides its expertise to arm listeners with the knowledge and tools to invest wisely. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
Fast and accurate, fair and balanced. Milwaukee's home for Fox News Radio. News Talk 1130 WISN.
There's only one store that gives you every possible choice in diamonds.
Welcome to Kessler's.
And the Badgers' losing streak is over and done.
Now it's time to work on a winning streak.
Chucky Hepburn with the triple 11-point lead, Wisconsin.
Saturday, Wisconsin travels to Iowa. Coverage starts at noon on 97.3 The Game.
Valentine's Day? Yeah? So I'm in the market for some new endorsement opportunities. You got to pay for Valentine's Day dinner. It was a little pricey. So I actually look for restaurants that don't do special Valentine's Day menus. I took out my 2 younger kids and my wife. We have a tradition. We always go out for Valentine's Day, and we do every year. I think I talked about this. Yeah, every year we do a mix of songs that defined our year, and we talk about it on the drive to dinner. Will you shut up in there? I saw you roll your eyes. I will bring in Jeff Orlowski so quick to replace you if you make fun of my lame Valentine's Day traditions. Name one of the songs. All right, I'll tell you this. I will name, and the first song is always like our song of the year. This is a tradition that's like 24 years old, all right? I'm embarrassed. Dave's in there saying, don't say it's Taylor Swift. It was Cruel Summer by Taylor Swift. My wife and daughter are like the biggest fans of this woman. Of course, we went to the concert in Chicago. We had floor seats for my daughter's 9th birthday. Of course it was going to be Taylor Swift. What did you think? It was going to be like Metallica? Would it be Post Malone? Yeah. Would it be Bond, Lindsey Sterling, some of the music that I use for my show? No, none of my family listens to me. Are you kidding me? My daughter will actively scream at my wife if Daddy is on instead of Taylor Swift. This is my life at home. The life of a popular, well-respected radio host. You know, I was really, really proud. My son did that. Yeah, this one. Yeah. Yeah, bump that while I'm talking about Valentine's Day. Tell me this one just bumps. This beats.
Dream high in the quiet of the night. You know that I caught it.
All right. right, so I restore a little bit of my street cred. The second song was Fast Car. The, who was it? Luke Combs. The Luke Combs cover of, keep that up, keep that up. I didn't say you stop in the middle of a Taylor Jam Fest. Interesting story behind this. Like, you know, it was released in like 2019, but only became a huge single now because so many people discovered it was supposed to be released in the summer of 2020. Oops. It really was a cruel summer back in 2020. I think they correctly surmised saying cruel summer in the summer of 2020 might not be the best message they wanted to convey, but she played this on her Eras tour, and people discovered it became a huge, and I mean huge hit. Did you hear, incidentally, the rumor that Kanye West was supposedly going to be at the Super Bowl right in front of Taylor's luxury box, but Taylor got him kicked out? Brandon Marshall, of all people, former Bears wide receiver, started that rumor, former Bronco, yeah. Do people know the connection? I think so. I think you people know the connection between Tay-Tay and Yeezy, right? It was 2013. She gets the MTV award for best music video of something, and this was "I'm Gonna Let You Finish." But Beyonce had one of the greatest videos of all time. Yeah, he ripped the microphone out of her hand. Yeah, he walked up there, and in a precursor, I'm just glad he didn't slap her in the face like Will Smith. But he took the microphone from her. It's a huge viral moment. And that was like the first, well, no, it wasn't the first hint that Kanye is absolutely freaking crazy. Yeah, Hurricane Katrina. Hurricane Katrina was our friend. Poor Mike Myers. He's got to stand up there in front of the entire world at the Katrina fundraiser telethon. And Kanye, he keeps saying like increasingly crazy things, and Mike Myers is just staring at the camera like, oh God, my career is over. And finally Kanye goes, George Bush doesn't care about black people. And you could just see all of the color drain from Myers's face. Like, I couldn't have presented with Bono. They couldn't have paired me with Dana Carvey. We get a Wayne's World. I have to be with this nutbag. Yes. So I did that. I was very proud. My son did that for his girlfriend, who incidentally, they went out. It was, really cute. They come home. And we come home. She says, you know what, Mr. O'Donnell? I heard you talk about me on the radio. My parents told me that you talked about me, and my friends' parents told me. I'm like, oh God. Like, I'm sorry. I don't ever use it. No, of course I don't. She's the sweetest. Yeah, it was in the context of whether or not my son was going to pay. No, she is the sweetest, kindest, just most wonderful girl. It's just funny. She's like, every one of this poor girl's parents are like, hey, so you know who was talking about you? She's probably like, yeah, I know. It's probably him, wasn't it? We are going live to the. Is Fox? Do we still have a feed of this? The Fannie Willis hearing down in Georgia. No, it's coverage now. Okay. Nathan Wade was testifying very briefly. Unfortunately, we needed to go to the news break under that. I knew it. Oh, they're going back? You know what? Let's keep monitoring this. I'm thinking, no. Dave, I was trained as a lawyer. I know how unexciting the law actually is. Dave's like, it's unexciting. Don't go to it. Keep talking about Taylor Swift. The people want more Taylor Swift. All right, we're going to do the complete biography of Taylor Swift, from her humble upbringings on a Christmas tree farm to the biggest tour in the world. I'm Dave goes, I'm grabbing Jeff Warlowski. Jeff is the guy who usually fills in for Dave. For those not in the know, we do have fun on this. No, what I'm going to do is oh, wait, they're back to Wade. Are they back to Wade? Yep. Okay, he's still on the stand. Nathan Wade is, will you quiet in there? He's like, tell it like, he's my dad in there. Okay, son, Tell them who Nathan Wade is. Yes, Dad. Nathan Wade is the special prosecutor hired by the Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis to investigate former President Donald Trump. Well, a couple of weeks ago, maybe month and a half, one of Trump's many co-defendants blew the whistle on the fact that Wade is actually in a sexual relationship with Willis. In fact, she's the reason, I think, if I'm doing my timeline correctly, that Wade's marriage fell apart. She was actually mentioned in Wade's divorce filing. Now, this is a major, major scandal, okay? Because Fani Willis is employing her lover to the tune of hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of taxpayer dollars per year to prosecute former President Donald Trump, something that's never been done before in the history of the United States, racking up tons of billable hours. And incidentally, Wade did meet for a teleconference, I believe, with members of the Biden White House. Now, why would this be? Weird how that works during the course of this investigation. It's almost like they were planning how politically to use this. But from a pure legal standpoint, the biggest problem with this is the improper disbursement of taxpayer funds to a romantic partner. Let's say, for instance, I'm the Milwaukee County District Attorney, and I hire my wife. Well, that would be too obvious. Let's say, as much as I hate producer Dave, and I do, he and I are in a romantic relationship. We're trying to keep this from our wives. He's a beautiful man. I stare at him for 2 straight hours every day. I could no longer control my lust. Ugh. Blah. Ugh. 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 You are, in fact, a very ugly man. He goes, without missing a beat, that's why I'm in radio. All men are ugly. I'm sorry. We're just ugly, gross creatures. If you look at the Dano cam, you can see, look at my stubble. I got stubble on my neck. I didn't feel like shaving today. Not going to lie, I had a couple of brandy old fashions at dinner last night, and because I've gone about a month and a half without drinking, I was a little sluggish today. Let's say Dave and I are in a relationship. I launch a prosecution of Governor Tony Evers for refusing to sign his own maps, which, by the way, he is doing, my guess, tomorrow afternoon. Be ready for it. You're doing the Friday afternoon show, right? Be ready for Evers vetoing his own maps tomorrow afternoon. That's the word. Yep, he's going to veto his own maps because Democrats think they can get a far better gerrymander by the Supreme Court. Yeah, of course, right? What did he say he was leaning towards? I didn't hear this. Yeah, no. Okay, yeah, that I had heard. I thought he had said something new, Dave. Evers has said, look, if they're my maps, I will sign them. Evers, however, is also a liar. And he's got far more powerful Democrats than him saying, what are you doing? We want, in a critical swing state, if we can be guaranteed of taking over the legislature, even though we haven't won more than about 44 seats in the past 30 years, we want to... That's not actually accurate, but you get my point. Every so often, Democrats would win the legislature, but Republicans have started to get huge majorities well before the so-called gerrymandered maps of 2011 were put into place. If they're saying, hey, we can, in a critical swing state, seize control, we're going to do it. And if your maps still allow Republicans to get, this is just, they're open about the fact that they want to seize the Republican majority from them by redrawing the lines. That is the classic definition of gerrymandering, where the only aim, we're going to undo the Republican gerrymander and give ourselves the majority in the state legislature. That's exactly what they're saying. It's a gerrymander.
Of travel.
Democrats, meanwhile, at the national level, are saying the quiet part out loud. All of these prosecutions of Trump are aimed at demonstrating to the American people that he's a criminal. Yes, Biden is old. Yes, Biden can barely remember his middle name. But Trump is flat out evil. This is the comparison they're trying to make. We'll discuss that in just a second. Cold Hard Cash Contest word this hour is green. 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 You've still got 35 minutes to go to our website and enter the keyword green to enter the contest for this hour. Good luck. More on Trump, Biden, and presidential politics coming up next. Dan O'Donnell here for Mander Collision and Glass, the best decision after a collision. And you hear me talking all the time about how great Mander is, but here's customer Amber, who writes, the quality of customer service at Mander in Muskego has far exceeded my expectations. After being involved in an accident, not my fault, and having experienced some significant difficulties communicating with the individual that hit me, Mander went above and beyond to ensure my needs were being met. I have never felt so confident and secure as a customer. The staff truly has their customers' best interests at heart and shows it through their actions. Thank you, Mander, for alleviating my stress through an undesirable chain of events. Thanks so much for sharing your experience, Amber, because that's yet another reason why I recommend Mander so highly. Now with 6 locations to serve you, Mander truly is your best decision after a collision.
Join News Talk 1130 this Saturday at 4 p.m. for The Word on Medicine, the show that brings you the latest medical innovations and discoveries by physicians and scientists at the Medical College of Wisconsin. That's Saturday afternoon at 4 on News Talk 1130 WISN.
Hi, this is Nick from Metro Milwaukee Homebuyer. And if you want to sell your house fast for cash, contact us today. We are a local family business, A+ with the BBB, and we always treat you right. Visit MetroMilwaukeeHomebuyer.com to get your fair as-is cash offer today.
It's easy to see. We're being conned by the institutions we used to trust. The mainstream media is distracting us with meaningless headlines instead of focusing on the harsh realities facing American families. We all know something big is coming, and that's why so many folks are preparing. They're becoming more self-reliant by investing in emergency food storage from My Patriot Supply. My Patriot Supply is the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, and they make it easy for you to prepare. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com and secure some emergency food kits. There's a dozen to choose from that contain tasty breakfasts, lunches, and dinners, averaging 2,000 calories per day. Get at least one food kit for each family member. My Patriot Supply also sells large solar generators, gravity-powered water filtration systems, heirloom seeds for your garden, and survival gear. Order by 3 p.m. and your items will ship that same day. Time is short. Prepare today. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com. MyPatriotSupply.com.
Since 1964, we've changed your tires and so much more. Richland's Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richland's.
Hey, business owners, it's Joe Breyer with Lake Country Advisors, your local, experienced, and trusted M&A advisors here in Wisconsin. We offer confidential, free exit strategy consultations to discuss the sale of your business. Visit us today at LakeCountryAdvisors.com.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
Guys, here are some of the texts we received during that last segment. Dan, can you give a 3-second warning like you do when you talk about adult content, when you talk about Taylor Swift, so I know to turn down my radio? My producer endorses that one. We have, hey, is this Brokeback Radio with your relationship with producer Dave? Miranda texts, I found your next vehicle, Dan. It is a rainbow fuzzy Ford F-150. It is a Men Who Listen to Taylor Swift edition F-150. I admit, I actually laughed out loud when I saw that one, Miranda. And we also have the chair must have special powers. O'Donnell is sounding more and more like Belling every single day with his tangents. It is that time of year, Dave says. So I'm not transitioning to a different gender. I am transitioning to a different talk show host. My pronouns are Paul and what are you doing in there? I am transitioning to Belling. It is a remarkably similar dynamic. And do people get that Mark and Paul are about as close gets? There are people who don't think Paul is real. I can tell you he is absolutely real, and he is the reason that I have to vacate this studio at like 11:02 at every day. I love him at 3:06. I hate him at like 11:15. I'm like, because I have to get my camera. I'm doing TV today. I want to just be able to like put the camera that's on right now, the Dano cam, but I have to move it to a different set. It's just a pain in the ass. Am I allowed to say that? I am belling. It's a little hot in the studio. Can we? And I think, what are some of the other things he complains about? He's the print. Oh my God, the printer. Everything Belling complains about is absolutely legit. The printer has been the bane of our existence for at least 5 years. Is it too loud in the hallway? No, but when I can hear people guffawing through 3 different soundproof studios, I think we might have a problem with too loud fake laughing. I am just saying, there is nothing any of us in this building have ever said that should result in a laugh that can pierce through soundproofing. 3 soundproof studios. That sports station is, let's see, we got 920 next to us, 95.7, then 97.3. 3. Seriously? I know Armin's not that funny. He worked on this show forever. All right. I am turning into Belling. Dave wants me to tell people to turn on their headlights. You know what I think we need, Dave? You hop in so much. Should we have you like have your voice on the air? What do you think? That I'm not belling, so no? Greg does with Jay. You know what? Do you know why I don't? And this is dead serious. I can't tell if what you're saying is going on the air or if it's just going, like, say something on the air. Right now. Turn on your mic.
What would you like me to say, Dan?
Okay, now say something off the air.
Prior to her election.
Okay, I can't actually tell. But there's not like a light that goes on that alerts me that you're on the air. So I can't tell when I'm reacting to you. I can't tell whether the audience has heard that or just me. Well, yeah, but this is true. But I'm saying, should we have you, because the stuff you say is like genuinely funny. And, well, like 30% of the time, yeah, you're ugly but funny, as we've established. But I don't know. I'm thinking about retooling that because it's honestly, can we put a light so I can tell when you're on? Yeah, that's true. We can't get a printer. We can't get our transmitter to work half the time. I mean, how many times have we been off the air? Basically, this station is held together with like Scotch tape. And yeah. Well, this is radio, though. You don't need even if you're watching the Dano cam, if you're watching the Dano cam right now, the thing behind me, this isn't actually a real background. It's a green screen. I'm literally using a green screen. In fact, let's see. You know what? I'm going to come back from the break, and I should just have a totally random background. Like, be in the North Pole, be in Santa's workshop or something like that. All right. Actual content. Do you remember President Biden's press conference? He doesn't, but I'm sure you do. After the special counsel's report was released a week ago today, he came out that night and answered questions. He was angry. He was slightly confused. In other words, he was President Biden. And he was furious that the special counsel, Robert Hur, made reference to and asked him about his son Beau's death, right? We all remember this. He said, how dare he ask me about that? I was thinking in my head, how dare he ask me about that? NBC's Peter Alexander reports Hur never actually asked Biden about Beau and his death.
President Biden became heated, you'll remember, responding to the special counsel's assertion that he could not remember within several years when his son Beau died. Last week, the president criticized her for asking him about it.
How in the hell dare he raise that? Frankly, when I was asked the question, I thought to myself, it wasn't any of their damn business.
But tonight, NBC News has learned that Hur never asked that question, according to two people familiar with the interview last fall. They say it was the president, not Hur or his team, who first introduced Beau Biden's death. The sources say the president got the date, May 30th, correct, but not the year.
I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Did President Biden literally forget who asked about his son? And I'll give him some slack on this one. The interview was months and months and months before. If honestly you were to ask me, and this is one of those where if you were to ask me, hey, who brought up that my son Beau died? I guess it was me. I don't totally remember. But he was so adamant in this. How dare they bring up my son Beau's death? Well, everyone who's ever listened to President Biden since Beau's death knows that he talks about it all the time. And I'm also going to give him a pass on that. He lies about his son's death, but it's something that I would imagine, and thank God I have never, and it's absolutely my worst nightmare. I would never have to experience. I hope I would. I pray every night I would, for the safety and long lives of my child. I couldn't imagine that tragedy. I imagine it's always on your mind. It's just something that never, ever leaves you. So Biden is constantly talking about his son. And I was going to make a Hunter joke there, but I'm not going to. Well, especially when your other son is Hunter, when the one who's left over is the, well, I guess Hunter, in fairness, Hunter has made the Biden family a ton of money. But Biden couldn't remember who brought up his son's death. That's pretty significant when that was such a major focal point of his press conference. Democrats are being and have been since that press conference, since that special counsel's report, forced to confront with pretty much what every rational observer has known for some time. The man is no longer mentally fit to perform the duties of the office. But Representative Jared Moskowitz this week said, look, we know this. We're still propping this guy up because the alternative, Trump, is so unspeakably evil.
The American people have to take a hard look at Donald Trump. Look, these are both older presidents, right? They broke the record when they ran the first time. They're both going to break the record the second time. But the difference is Donald Trump wants to ruin the institutions in this country. He wants to destroy democracy. He wants to change what you are used to in this country.
And that's why we have to stop him. That's why we need to prosecute him. That's why we're willing to excuse the fact that Fani Willis more than likely broke the law down in Fulton County by hiring her boyfriend to be a special prosecutor and getting the money that he was getting right back to her. This isn't just nepotism. This is essentially self-dealing, right? This is not permitted. This is not just unethical. It is very likely unlawful. By the way, that testimony from the special counsel, Nathan Wade, is continuing. We're going to have highlights from it, bring those to you probably on the Mark Belling late afternoon show coming up next. Forgotten History, and this one is by request. I'll admit I didn't have time this week to write a new Forgotten History, Valentine's Day and meetings and 2 shows and all of that. But someone suggested, hey, Dan, how about a Forgotten History on the origins of the Pledge of Allegiance? And I thought to myself, you know what? I've already got one. Coming up after the break, the forgotten history of the new pledge. Dan O'Donnell here for my friends at Built Right Furniture. Built Right's President's Day and Randy Kay's birthday mattress sale is on now. Shop the most unique selection of mattresses with over 60 models and 500 mattresses in stock. Choose from the best brands made in the USA, including Heirloom, Restonic, Therapeutic, Shiftman, Comfort Sleep, and more. Built Right always saves you money. Don't make a mistake by ordering online or from an employee-free self-service store. Built Right makes it easy easy, and with their legitimate sale prices, you'll get an exceptional value and a great night's sleep. Built Right does the research for you, and their team will take the time to fit you. Built Right specializes in hard-to-find flippable two-sided and heavy-duty mattresses that hold up to 600 pounds. Plus, Built Right offers free delivery and removal on mattress-only purchases of $799 or more. Shop Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday, they're closed to be with family. Tell them Dan sent you to Built Right at 54th and Layton in Greenfield.
For more information about contests on News Talk 1130 WISN, go to newstalk1130.com/rules.
Porch to patio protection to make sure your Bellman home really does stand the test of time. It's an industry first to give you nothing less than a world-class home building experience. Find out more at bellmanhomes.com.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Steve and Ashley heard our radio ads over the years, and when it came time to buy their first home, clicked on the blue button. One of our senior loan consultants, Brad, sent them a credit-verified pre-approval the same day and then upgraded to a rock-solid, fully verified and guaranteed pre-approval shortly thereafter. They made a couple offers without success, and then Brad told them about Accunet's new property-specific pre-approval, where we might be able to include those magic words, no appraisal required. When they wrote their next offer, several $1,000s over asking to make sure someone else didn't end up sleeping in their dream home, their property-specific rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval included that most powerful phrase, no appraisal required, and the sellers picked Steve and Ashley's offer over several others. If you think all mortgage lenders and pre-approvals are the same, think again. Go with a local mortgage lender that has the tools and know-how to help you win and save money, too. Click on the blue button today at ACCUNET.com.
I'm Brett Ochtenhagen, owner of Brett Ochtenhagen Seasonal Services. I frequently speak with people who are unhappy with their landscaping and they're unsure how to turn things around. Well, here are 4 tasks that will make a remarkable improvement to dull landscaping. Number 1, thick, lush green grass. We need food and water to be healthy. Our lawn care programs and irrigation systems provide your grass with everything it needs to thrive. Number 2, pruning. Regular, technically correct pruning keeps plants strong and vibrant. Number 3, plant bed edging and a fresh layer of bark mulch. There's nothing better than the look of crisp bed edges and fresh mulch. Number 4, landscape lighting. You finally have your landscaping looking its best. A landscape lighting system lets your landscaping come alive after dark. So there you are, 4 landscaping tips that amplify the beauty of your home. Please call Seasonal Services at 262-392-3444 or look for us online at seasonalservices.com.
We do beautiful things to wood, the cabinetry.
Hi, this is Chris Drager, president and owner of The Cabinetry. Over the past 40 years, The Cabinetry has been remodeling homes all over southeastern Wisconsin. When you think of The Cabinetry, you think of cabinets, but The Cabinetry is so much more than that. We sell everything you need in our state-of-the-art showroom. Whether you're looking for cabinets, countertops, tile, flooring, cabinet hardware, or plumbing fixtures, we are the one-stop shop for all your remodeling needs. Celebrating 40 years of quality craftsmanship and impeccable customer service. Stop in our showroom or visit our website, thecabinetry.com, to get your project started today.
We do beautiful things to wood, the cabinetry.
The Cabinetry, just 2 blocks east of the corners of Brookfield.
Dreaming of Greece? Taste of Greece at Annunciation Greek Orthodox Church will give you your Greek Fest favorites like split roasted chicken, lamb, gyros, pastries, and more. February 24th and 25th, starting at 11 a.m. Don't miss Taste of Greece at Annunciation Greek Orthodox Church.
Skip waiting for a table. Enjoy a homemade fish fry every Friday at Sendix. Enjoy 3 pieces of beer-battered, wild-caught Northern Atlantic cod with your choice of Sendix original potato pancakes or French fries. Your meal comes with all the fixins: fresh rye bread, creamy coleslaw, homemade applesauce, and Sendix tartar sauce. Or choose from fried shrimp, walleye fillets, or baked cod. Every Friday from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. at your neighborhood Sendix. Sendix Food Markets, your trusted local grocer.
Let Tri-County Contracting take care of the outside of your home so you don't have to. Worry-free roofing, siding, and windows from Tri-County Contracting. Call us at 262-679-6100 or visit us online at tricountycontractingwi.com.
Are you tired of being tired? Go to adventknows.com.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you to explore right now, like the Beatles Now and Then, celebrating all things Beatles.
Together, you say goodbye, and I say hello.
Legendary clips, deep cuts, live performances, and all their solo hits. Just open the free iHeartRadio app and search the Beatles Now and Then and listen now. iHeartRadio. Free never sounded so good.
iHeartRadio. I'm America.
Conservative thought.
Not just talk.
This is the Dan O'Donnell Show.
Each week here on the Dan O'Donnell Show, we tell the stories of the red, the white, and the blue that you might not have heard in history class, you might not have read about, but they are the stories that make us who we are. This week's Forgotten History is a request on the origins of the Pledge of Allegiance that we say today. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for Forgotten History. We pledge allegiance to our flag, extolling the virtues of our nation, under God, indivisible, and forever dedicated to liberty and justice for all. But we didn't always swear this oath. We didn't always recognize the divine influence in the uniqueness of our nation. We do largely because of the dedication of one man and America's desire to set itself apart from its enemies. This is the forgotten history of the new pledge. Louis Bowman was a true patriot. A lawyer by trade, his passions were for his country and for his God, and he combined them into his volunteer work as chaplain for the Illinois chapter of the Sons of the American Revolution. He was a student of American history and particularly fond of another lawyer from Illinois, Abraham Lincoln. He spent hours studying his idol's brilliant speeches, especially the Gettysburg Address, which he committed to memory. The last line of it captivated him, and he quoted it often. "We here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth." Whenever he delivered this line at Sons of the Revolution gatherings, Louis delighted in the quizzical looks fellow students of history would give him. Under God, they'd ask? Did Lincoln really say this nation under God? He did, Louis assured them. Newspaper reporters in attendance for the speech reported the line, and even though just 2 of the surviving 5 original manuscripts included under God, Louis was convinced that Lincoln envisioned the nation they both loved as divinely blessed. Convinced that Lincoln envisioned the nation they both loved as divinely blessed. Lincoln believed, as Louis did, that Judeo-Christian values formed the basis of the American experiment and were thus inextricably linked to its government and culture, most notably in its ideal that all men are created equal and that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights. Louis was so inspired by Lincoln's reference to one nation under God that when he rose to recite the Pledge of Allegiance during the Sons of the Revolution's meeting on Lincoln's birthday in 1947, he inserted the line into the pledge. The Pledge of Allegiance, as it was written at the time, dated back to 1892. Baptist minister Francis Bellamy composed a Pledge of Allegiance that read, "I pledge allegiance to my flag and the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all." During the Flag Conference of 1923, new language was added so that the influx of new immigrants to America would know which flag they were pledging allegiance to. So the opening line was changed to, "I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America." When Louis recited his pledge, he ended it with "one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all." The Sons of the American Revolution loved it, and Lewis reveled in explaining to anyone who would ask about it where it came from. The Sons of the Revolution began using Lewis's version of the pledge before all of their events. Other Catholic groups started doing the same. And as the Cold War was ramping up, people across America wanted to differentiate our nation with the godless statism of the Soviet Union. So they started using one nation under God as well. And they began lobbying the government to make the change official. Eventually, their efforts made their way to President Dwight D. Eisenhower. And on Flag Day 1954, he issued a proclamation officially changing the Pledge of Allegiance to the version Louis Bowman had recited. From this day forward, the millions of our school children will daily proclaim in every city and town, every village and rural schoolhouse, the dedication of our nation and our people to the Almighty. In this way, we are reaffirming the transcendence of religious faith in America's heritage and future. In this way, we shall constantly strengthen those spiritual weapons, which forever will be our country's most powerful resource in peace or war.
This is Michael Lynch from the Lynch Truck Center. We've been working hard sourcing work trucks from all over the country. We currently have over 300 commercial work trucks in stock and ready for your choice of outfit. Our sales team is 100% dedicated to commercial trucks, which means our truck professionals can get you the right truck right now. Our new inventory of Chevrolet, GMC, Isuzu, Hino, not to mention our used inventory, combined with nearly 30 commercial financial lenders, ensures the lowest rates possible for you and the fastest buying experience. Our service center has over 20 dedicated truck bays running 2 shifts, a contact-free sales process, and delivery drivers ready to deliver your truck right to your door. We know your time is important, so we make sure our process is quick and hassle-free. Find your new truck today at lynchtruckcenter.com. Or stop into the Lynch Truck Center at Highway 36 in Waterford. We won't disappoint you.
When it comes to remodeling, everyone has advice about who you should hire. But who can you trust? Your boss? Neighbors? Random online reviews? No. When it comes to remodeling, you can trust NARI. All NARI members are experienced, proven, qualified, and verified by local people who know the industry and have your back. Join us for the NARI Spring Home Improvement Show, February 16th through 18th at State Fair Park. Get discount tickets at NARIMilwaukee.org.
Whether you're a winter fanatic or a spring enthusiast, Door County offers activities you'll love, and Pheasant Park Resort offers a special you'll really love. Book 2 nights and get a 3rd night free, good through May 16th. Enjoy winter, spring, or book a stay for both seasons. Ice skating, snowmobiling, cross-country skiing, ice fishing and sledding, or golf, boating, fishing, hiking, biking, Sister Bay and Door County has you covered. And Pheasant Park Resort has your 3rd night covered. Visit pheasantparkresort.com to reserve.
Jay Weber here. In today's fast-paced world, getting to the bottom of a problem cannot happen fast enough, especially when it involves your physical health. There's no time for pain or weakness. This is where Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin's Ortho ASAP clinics come to the rescue. If you're experiencing any sort of bone, joint, or muscle problem, walk right in and be seen by an orthopedic specialist trained specifically to treat these conditions. Their website is orthowisconsin.com. The Ortho ASAP clinics are located at both the Pewaukee and Brookfield Square locations and are a lower cost, higher quality alternative to the traditional emergency room or urgent care. You'll be sure to be seen by an experienced orthopedic specialist who's surrounded by a staff that is trained to provide you with the best possible care. Also, their Ortho ASAP clinics are housed where they have on-site x-ray, physical therapy, and MRI capabilities to help with your care, all right there. You can learn more at orthowisconsin.com. orthowisconsin.com. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference.
Hey, it's Jesse Kelly. Are you still on the fence about owning gold? It's time to pull the trigger with the Oxford Gold Group and buy gold and silver. Nobody can predict the future, but we can't put our head in the sand either. The Oxford Gold Group are the pros. They make owning gold and silver simple and easy to understand. Call Oxford Gold Group right now, and you may qualify for up to $10,000 in free precious metals. Call 833-995-GOLD. That's 833-995-GOLD.
We asked people why they sold their homes to Grandview Homes instead of using a real estate agent.
I decided that spending the time and money to rehab the unit and sell it through conventional means was not in my best interest. They give you a fair price offer, close quickly, and pay promptly. The process with Grandview was virtually effortless.
Whether you have a hard-to-sell home, want a stress-free sale, or simply need to sell your home fast, Grandview Homes is the name you know and the name you can trust. Visit GrandviewHomes.com to discover the easiest and fastest way to sell a home.
Go with your gut. Your dog's immune system is based in the gut. A diet lacking in nutrients can cause itching, scratching, and a weak immune system. However, there is a solution. DINOVITE. Dinovite.
It took a grand total of 2 weeks. The dog stopped itching, the hair stopped falling out.
Try Dinovite for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Learn more at dinovite.com/radio.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dinovite.
Our mission is to protect and uphold our reputation. And when it comes to exterior remodeling, that kind of assurance is actually what counts the most.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Hi, my name is Joseph Hastretter, owner of EWH University. Listen in every Sunday at 11 a.m. on WISN and let me show you better strategies for increasing sales and generating more business.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Classical conservatism, contemporary style. It is the Dan O'Donnell Show. Another for-profit college. I don't know why we have to insist on calling them for-profit college. All colleges are essentially for-profits. We can stop with the pretense that somehow state schools are providing this charitable service and don't exist primarily to employ large groups of otherwise unemployable leftist feminist studies professors. Financial hardship has hit Concordia University, and they are facing what they call an existential crisis and fiscal instability at both the campuses in Mequon and Ann Arbor, Michigan. This is not good, folks, because this comes very shortly after Cardinal Stritch University, which had served Wisconsin for, I believe, more than a century. Well, more than a century, I think. This is for smaller colleges that don't have the backing of endless supplies of state aid. This is turning into a real problem. The primary reason is there just aren't enough college-aged kids to justify the existence of so many colleges. And a smaller percentage, I believe, than, say, Dave, when you or I were growing up, are going to college because the costs have gotten so out of control. When relative to inflation, they're up just astronomical sums. People are saying it's not worth it. It's not worth it to start off my professional, my adult life in that much debt, which becomes, it makes it so much more difficult to start out life. I saw a study, and you'll forgive me, I don't have it in front of me. I just thought of this, that somewhere in the neighborhood of 40% of people under the age of like 27 are living at home. And that's not because, and I know there's like, well, it's because these kids are losers. No, it's not. It's because they're trying to save money and devoting all of their money to all of their resources to paying off their student loan debts. Now, I'm not saying the answer is to just have a government come in and magically wave away all student loan debts. Your student loans are your responsibility, not mine. But what I am saying is a lot of people don't want to be stuck in that trap. So they're going into the trades. They're going into 2-year schools. A friend of mine graduated from a 4-year university with a business degree, went into the business world, realized that there are 20 million people just like him. He went back to go for graphic design and computer software stuff, and far happier doing that. MATC. You can get an incredibly well-paying career without going through college. Look at the career I'm in. Now, I'm probably quite overeducated to be a talk show host. Rush Limbaugh was far more successful than I'll ever be. He had about a semester of college. You don't need it. Now, I'm not saying roll the dice and try to make a go of it as a podcaster or a video game streamer, but those are, believe it or not, viable career paths. No. A far more viable and attainable career path would be an electrician, a plumber, a skilled tradesman. You can make 6-figure salaries. You can go into business for yourself where you have the potential to make way more money without having to incur a ton of debt. Concordia University, I think, is feeling the same pinch that Cardinal Stritch did, I suspect. I mean, look at even the public universities are laying off staff. They're closing extension schools. No. This is a full-blown crisis because, A, this is just a demographic shift. And this, by the way, is part of the reason that Democrats will say, well, this is why we need all this illegal immigration, because our population is just aging at too great of a rate because people aren't having as many kids as they used to. People are always confused when I say this. What is the replacement population rate? I don't mean great replacement theory, Dan's being racist. I mean, how do you ensure that your population will grow and not shrink? What is the magic number? How many children per woman on average? 2.1. If I need to explain that to you, and I feel like some liberals who are a little confused about who it is that can have babies, you need 2.1 women per 2.1 children per woman. I'm sure some dudes would be like, yeah, 2.1 women per man. 2.1 children per woman in a population to get to a replacement level population, meaning that your population will grow and not shrink. That's on average. Yes, I'm aware you can't have 0.1 child, but it's an average. So if you have 3 children, you're doing great. If you have 2 children, all right, you're fine. Far more couples are choosing to have 1 child or no children. Yeah. We're also seeing, a rise in infertility and that sort of stuff. I'm not going into that, but it was only 2 generations or so ago where it was common for each family to have 4, 5, 6 children. And all these institutions that were put up and predicated on the idea that there would be this many children growing up and going to school and utilizing our services are now struggling because they're not. Democrats are saying, well, the only reason that we actually have a growing population or a sustainable population is because all of our unchecked illegal immigration. That's not true at all. We don't need illegal immigrants to replace our population. That's what just Democrats won't tell you they want, but it totally is. To wit, Pramila Jayapal. She goes on MSNBC and kind of says the quiet part out loud with regard to the special election to replace George Santos in New York, won by Tom Suozzi by a far bigger margin than he probably should have. What did Jayapal say was one of the big reasons? Well, Suozzi leaned into the immigration debate. He said, we need a pathway to citizenship. And why? Because as Jayapal put it, we depend on our immigrant voters.
What do you say then to Americans who have that concern and they see 3 times in just a couple days the president getting the name of a leader
This
wrong
is
and
absolutely not the correct soundbite, Dave. I'll tell you what, we didn't really have much time to do that. Don't worry about it. We'll play it on the Mark Belling late afternoon show. What she said was, we need our base voters. We need our immigrant voters. And this was in the context of saying Democrats need to embrace the pathway to citizenship. She's saying the quiet part loud. She's admitting we need to have new Democrats come in here and vote. Well, in many respects, liberals who are running our higher education system are saying the same thing. Like, we need people to come in and to replace, not replace as in, the great replacement theory, but fill in the numbers that we're not getting from the existing American population. I know it's a very complex issue, and I'll try to discuss this a little bit more. I will be in for Mark on the Mark Belling late afternoon show. Nathan Wade's still testifying. I imagine he's going to for probably the next several hours. Big bombshell testimony. Former co-worker of Fani Willis says she and Wade started dating in 2019. That's not good. I'll explain why on the Mark Belling show coming up at 3:06 on WISN.